In this lesson, I want to introduce you to an additional property related to prop types that we can add on to a component. And the property is called default props. So the syntax is going to be very similar to what we did in the previous lesson with prop types. So right here, I'm going to add a line break. I'm once again going to reference my taco card component. It is a function, but remember our functions can have properties on them because they're also objects. And this time around, the property that we want to add, and once again, it must be called this, is default props, like so. So once again, prop types is going to look for a literal property of prop types and also a property of default props should we choose to provide it. To this property, we're going to assign once again a JavaScript object. And once again, the actual properties are going to represent the props that are flowing into our taco card component. In this case, we only have one prop and it is called name. So I can write name right here. So as the name default props might suggest, what this is a default value or a fallback value that prop types can provide if and only if the parent component does not provide an existing value for that prop. So in other words, what we can write here is what should the name prop be if the parent component that is rendering taco card does not provide a name prop. So if the parent does give a name prop, we're simply going to use whatever it gives us. But if it does not give us a name prop, what should be the default value? What should be the value that we use instead? So for example, here I can provide a string like some taco, save that, and nothing is going to change on the right-hand side. And the reason for that, of course, is because in our app component, we are providing the name prop to all three renderings of those three taco cards. But take a look at what happens when I remove the name prop from my second taco card and also from my third one. So I'm going to save this. And notice on the right-hand side that now both of those taco card components fall back to some taco because we are still rendering the value of the name prop right here. It's just that the name prop is no longer coming directly from the parent. It is being provided from default props because the parent did not provide a name prop directly, explicitly. So this is a fallback value. You can almost think of it like an emergency case, just in case the parent does not give me something, or if I want some kind of reasonable default, we can set it up like so with default props, where we do ensure we have some value to work with within our component. All right. So this is actually the reason why we added prop types as a regular project dependency and not just as a dev dependency. In the previous lesson, we saw the benefits to us as developers of seeing the type validation running in the browser. But now this actually has the potential to actually affect the code, affect the implementation, because this value can actually be provided and rendered onto the screen like so. And that is why prop types is added as a regular project dependency rather than as a dev dependency, because it does need to be in the final bundle to ensure this kind of logic allows the components to render as expected. All right, so that is a quick introduction to the default props property, which we can assign to a functional component with dot-based syntax. And as we can see, we can use it to assign default fallback values for various props. Right now, we only have one prop, but of course, in the real world, it's typical to have a component receive a lot of props, 5, 10, a dozen, sometimes even more. So if you need that kind of situation, you simply expand these corresponding objects with the prop type declarations as well as the fallback values should you want them. All right, that's all there is to cover in this lesson. So I will see you in the next one.